KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase 140 Raegen and go over the details of his vision card. I will first go over his full kit, my top choices for equipments, Truststone's abilities, and Espers. Then a few different builds, and a few team comps. My final thoughts and a couple of sample matches. We are close to end of the FFBE collaboration, and will soon head back to the normal release pattern. Raegen is not a limited unit and will be in the standard pool after his banner goes away. The next unit released should be Vega, the second servant of the Void character. I am currently working on his video. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see 140 unit reviews before they are released in global. Let's get started on Raegen. Raegen is a fan favorite from the original FFBE. He is coming to War of the Vision as a 100 cost ice unit. He is a physical slasher and have access to strike attacks from his sub job. He has courage, multi-hits chaining attacks, can dispel haste, protect and courage. He is a very bulky bruiser with an auto HP recover mechanic just like Snow, and has some very good damage types resistances. He can also deals fire damage. He is in the Sword Red Mage group with a unique main job, the Grand Knight. His sub jobs are Monk and Night Blade. He can equip swords, cloths and hats. His TMR is a cloth with 422 HP, 15 defense and 5 crit evade. The ability is a 3 turns attack up 40% and increase fire and ice attacks by 25. This TMR is somewhat good, but only useful in fire or ice comps. His base attack value is among the highest in the game at 426. Very good HP at 3529, okay luck at 179, and has 2 defense and spirit. Typical 3 move 1 jump and does not have a way to increase those in his kit. Raegen has some very good attack type resistances. 25 to slash, 20 to strike, 10 to missile and 20 to magic. The only negative is to pierce, at -10. We can build his strike resistance to a very high level, I will show it later. For status ailment resistances, he has 50 to frostbite, 50 to blind and 10 to immobilize. He is a 50 faith unit, but I would still recommend giving him stop resistance from Truststone. Next let's look at his farmable weapon. The weapon is a sword. The additional ability is defense penetration up 20. And for ice and fire units, it also grants slash penetration up 20, and recovers CT small when HP drops below 20%. I would recommend the assault and the crit types. The aim type only has 15 accuracy, it is not worth to spend the material for it. This sword works very well with his courage and HP recover mechanic. Continuing on to his main job passives. The first one is attack up 24%, defense penetration 40, and slash penetration 40. The Transcendence upgrade will give this passive a HP recovery of 30% when his health drops below 50% once in a battle. This is the passive that you need to put on him all the time. It has everything. The HP recovery will restore about 70% of his health when equipped with a healing power-up Truststone. He usually can take quite a few hits before going down. His second main job passive is very defensive, giving him 40 elemental chain resistance, 12 slash resistance and 12 strike resistance. This passive is also very good in many situations, especially against strike teams. His main job reaction ability can further enhance his survivability against slash and strike attacks. It has a 20% proc chance to reduce incoming slash and strike damage by 70%. Now let's go over his master ability and transcendence upgrades. Besides the typical ice party buffs, his master ability will increases his slash and magic resistance by 10 and increases his reaction block rate by 20. For his 140 upgrades, he gets healing power up 20, acquired AP up 30%. An upgrade to his Aldor's hero passive, giving him a HP recovery of 30% when his health is below 50% once in a battle. Next up is LB. It is a single target attack up to range 4. Lower target's slash resistance by 38% for 3 turns, then deals 3 hits large damage. This is just one of many of his multi-hit slashing moves. He has a few more in his main kit. He mostly would use this to break damage barriers. Let's move over to his main job buffs. The first one is a group buff and has the highest priority. For 3 turns, increase ice, wind and dark resistance by 25 to the group, and 20 AoE resistance to himself. He will go around to put this on everyone before moving forward. His second buff is his courage. It will also grant him AP consumption down of 33% and increase reaction block rate of 50 when courage is active. It is very critical to get this buff online in every fight. Without it, he is very likely to run into AP problems. However, this buff has the lowest AI priority. The order is group buff, TMR buff, then courage. Be mindful of that with your skills on and off. Now let's go over his attack skills. The first on the list is a single target attack, up to range 4. For 3 turns increase his defense penetration 40, then deals 2 hits large damage, and lowers target's agility by 20% for 3 turns. He would use this skills over his LB if the target does not have a damage barrier. Next on the list is a fire-based attack. A cross-shape AoE up to range 4, dispel courage prior to damage. 2 hits, damage medium plus ice and wind killer. This is very useful in a mirror match, and against Bradley. The next skill is his low AP cost attack. Single target, up to range 2. Lowers target's defense by 25 for 3 turns, then deals damage small. A basic finishing ability. Let's go to the last attack ability of his main job. It is a cross-shape AoE up to range 4, first dispels haste and protect. Then 2 hits damage medium. An AoE dispel of haste and protect is beautiful. This will come in handy in many situations with all these DPS units equipped with Bradley's TMR. That's all for his main job. Let's move over to his main subs abilities. The first one is a straight line 2-panel AoE attack, with a 25% chance to inflict frostbite for 3 turns, and medium damage. Raegen is a 50 faith unit, chances of the frostbite to land is pretty low. I wouldn't run this sub just for frostbite. The second skill is also an attack. It is single target, a 2 hits fire slashing move that deals damage medium and lower target's healing power by 50 for 3 turns. His main sub is not very impressive. Let's look at the other ones. Let's look at his monk sub first. This is the one I like the most. It gives him another damage type and has some very good abilities. He gets 2 passives from monk. The first one is HP up 15%. And the second one is Strike Mastery, which grants him attack up 24% and strike attack up 15%. Strike Mastery could be useful if you want to rely on his strike attacks. For reaction ability, he gets Fist Counter. A 30% chance to perform a strike type counter attack. It has only 1 range. Never use this, the range is too short. All his monk active abilities are very good. He gets Chakra, an AoE heal of 40% and 3 turns HP regen. This is very good to have. Especially in a longer map, it will heal him for around 7k when combined with his healing power up. The other notable ability is Store. It increases his attack by 150% and defense penetration 40 for 1 turn. He will deal some very high damage after it is used. The AI will use this when all his other buffs are active and he is out of range to attack. And he also has Surge Strike, a sure hit strike attack up to range 3. This is the only sure hit ability in his whole kit. Very useful when not equipping his accuracy passive. I recommend to have all his monk abilities turned on. Moving on to his Nightblade sub. He only gets 1 passive and 1 counter ability from this sub. The passive ability is Nightblade Mastery, giving him attack up 30%, accuracy 25, and decrease evasion of 10. I usually have this on him in my all-out offensive build. For counter ability, he gets Counter Swing, a 1-panel counter attack. Again, a range 1 counter. Just stick to his main job counter, that one is the best. The 2 notable abilities from Nightblade are Maiming Slash and Double Resist. Maiming Slash will give him another long-range AoE that can reduce reaction proc rate and lower healing power. Double Resist will give him pierce and missile resistance of 25. In my opinion, the Monk sub is better than the Knight Blade. That's all for his kit. Next, let's look at his vision card. It is a physical-based VC that supports Sword Red Mage, Sword Knight, and Gun users. The stats are 362 HP, 3 Agility, and 145 Attack. I have put some notable units on the screen here. The party abilities are Elemental Chain Resist up 36, Crit Damage up 20, and Slash Resistance up 20. The bestowed abilities are Attack up 10% and AoE Resistance up 10. This VC is fine, I like the crit damage. But I think it is okay to wait until you get this later down the line. Now let's go over some equipments and Esper options. I like to use his unique sword the most. The Blood Sword is also a very good choice, the HP absorbed works very well with Raegen's kit. Lastly, Agria's sword is not a bad choice as well. It has 30 ice attack up and very good accuracy at 28. In his second slot, I like the Survival Vest for the single target resist, or the Alex Ring for more accuracy. The Genji Glove +5 is also good for more damage output. For his TMR slot, I would turn off his group buff and give him haste when I am not running him with Felis. Any higher agility TMR would be good for him. Espers, we have the typical ones. Odin for accuracy and agility, Bahamut for max damage. Dark Odin for slash attack and Man-Eater. Fenrir is a very good choice for Ice Slash and has 20 magic resistance. With Fenrir, Raegen can get up to 50 magic resistance. Golden Ahriman or other high defense Espers are good for him as well. He can be built to be a very tank-like frontline unit. Moving on to his Truststone sets. For the defensive side, I like the Vital set the most. He has very good innate HP, the set bonus will scale off very well. The Spirit set is not a bad choice either, giving him more healing power. HP up and luck up are must in the abilities. Pierce resistance is another one that I usually have on him. Other than that, depending on what you are going up against, give him some status ailments and elemental resistances. On the offensive side, I like the aim set the most. He could have accuracy problem if he is not equipped with his Night Blade passive. My second choice is the attack set, playing off of his high innate attack stat and giving more defense penetration. Agility set is not a bad choice too, but I typically run him alongside Felis or he is on a haste TMR. If I have to pick one, I would go with aim. As for the abilities, these are what I have on him with the equipment showing here. Attack up and acquired AP up, slash attack up and ice attack up. Lastly, reaction block rate up and healing power up. I highly recommend giving him healing power up in all builds. Let's move on to look at some sample teams. The first team I have here is the all-purpose ice team with Felis and Ice Howlet. In this comp, Raegen is on both of his main job passives for both offense and defense and has accuracy Truststone. For his Esper, I went with regular Odin for the Man-Eater and accuracy. In the vision cards, Raegen has the Laswell VC for the 15% agility and acquired AP up for the group, and Dark Odin in the sub slot for the attack up. For Felis, I have him equipped with Dark Golem for AoE resistance and the Trembling Heart for the magic up and cast time reduction. My Felis is a month away from 140, he will get some additional cast time down from Transcendence. For Howlet, he has Freezes as a main for the ice attack up and max HP up, and Black Rose card for the agility in the sub slot. In this setup, Raegen starts off with 60 slash and defense penetrations. With this team, I rely on Felis to cast haste on Raegen during his first turn. Then Raegen move forward to start ice slash chains, then Howlet to cap off the chains. This is a more balanced build, this comp does not work without Felis. The second team I have is my all-out offensive comp with Raegen, Snow, and Ice Jaden. Raegen has the Night Blade Mastery and all doors hero passives for maximum damage output. Truststone is an attack set. Genji Glove and a haste TMR are also for more offensive pressure. For Esper, I have him on Dark Bahamut for max damage. In the vision cards, Raegen still has the Laswell VC for the agility and acquired AP up. Fenrir is a sub for additional attack and 10 magic resistance. On Snow, he has Dark Odin in the main slot and his own VC for more defense penetration. For Jaden, he has Dark Golem and the Black Rose. I took out the Trembling Heart, as cast time reduction is not needed. With this setup here, Raegen starts off with 60 slash penetration and 83 defense penetration. Also at over 2k attack with 0 reincarnation. With the Famrear VC and Esper, he can get up to 50 magic resistance. This 1 tank and 2 DPS team can do some crazy damage. The tank can be Agria's or any other ice tank. Raegen's job here is to cast haste on first turn, courage on second turn, then go kill stuff. The last team I will detail today is the Sword Red Mage team with Ice Howlet and Ferris. This is Raegen's anti-strike build. He is equipped with both of his main job passives. The bond with Rowan is very important here, giving him 12 strike and slash resistance. I am using aim set Truststone here to make up for lack of accuracy from VCs and Esper. The Mage's Habit +6 has 7 strike resistance, and he is equipped with a haste TMR. The Phoenix Esper for more strike resistance. Same idea on Howlet, his strike resistance is at 65 in this comp. Ferris has very high AoE resistance, can provide some healing, has a group buff to increase strike resistance for the group. In the vision cards, on Raegen, Dark Odin as main, and Hero as sub for the slash attack up and crit avoid. On Howlet, Black Rose for agility and his own VC as a sub for the 10 strike resistance for the group. On Ferris, Sildra for the 35 slash penetration, and Ramses card for 8% more agility. If Dwayne's VC is available in JP, I likely will take out the Hero VC. Have Raegen equipped Sildra as a sub, and have Ferris equip Dwayne's card as a main to cover both AoE and single target resistance. In this Sword Red Mage setup, Raegen starts off with 95 slash penetration, 60 defense penetration, and 74 strike resistance. The initial turn order should be, Ferris buffs Raegen strike resistance, then Howlet gives him HP absorb. And finally Raegen casts haste, and move forward. But for this to happen, Raegen will need to have his group buff turned off. Let's take a look at a few more team ideas. There are so much good units and vision cards in Ice. We can have so many different combinations. We can go full slash, or mix in with one of the range girls. Raegen is a great candidate for the producer's bow tie. He can be very bulky and hard to take down with all the healing and courage. Currently, my favorite Ice teams to run is Raegen, and Jaden or Howlet. These three can chain super well together. Let's take a look at what are some potential teammates and vision cards for him. If you haven't noticed already, all the other 4 Sword Red Mage cards support Katana as well. We can run Ice and Water together with Astrius. Or Ice and Dark with Sephiroth in the future. After all, Raegen is the Veritas of the Dark. Before I show a few sample matches, I will share my final thoughts on him now. Raegen is a prime example of the game moving towards role compression. Another very versatile unit. Has very good bulk, the best ice chainer in the game with very good damage potential. There are many great utilities in his kit, including the ability to dispel courage. Combining with his great survivability, he is a very good frontline bruiser type unit. Definitely worth the 100 cost tag. If you are an Ice player and want to pivot away from the Missile Girls, Raegen is the perfect transition unit to the new Ice comp with Ice Howlet and Ice Jaden. He is the centerpiece of the Sword Red Mage group as well. However, he comes at the tail end of a major collaboration, and right after a main story character release. It might be hard to pull for him right away. He is not a limited character, and will be available in the pay guaranteed, and the paid 3 times retries all UR banners in the near future. That is how I got him along with the Ice Golem VC. I hope this video can help you decide to pull for him or not. This is why I spent so many hours making it. Now let's go to the last portion of the video, sample matches. The first match is the Ice Hyper Offensive team with Jaden and Snow, going up against the new Water Slash team. Jaden first move over to Snow and cast his 10k physical barrier on himself. This is his courage buff, lowering AP consumption for as long as courage is active. In this match, I turned off all of Raegen's buff except his courage and store. Didn't want him to overextend too much with haste. The opponent's team have all the buffs online as well. This will be a good fight. Now Raegen uses his store buff. Increases attack and defense penetration. Jaden so far has been impressive. I am still working towards his 120. Looking forward to the new Alaya in a couple weeks. Ferris LB is very dangerous, lower target CT and restore CT for self. She can lap the whole team if her LB catches all 3 units. This is Raegen's Dispel Protect and Haste attack. Doing very good damage to both of the units with the store buff online. He is being chained down here. Procs his courage and restores 6.5k HP from his passive. This is his defense penetration up 40 attack. 2 hits large damage taking down Ferris. The next match is against the Meta Dark team. This is Raegen's group buff, giving the group 25 Dark Elemental resistance and 20 AoE resistance for himself. Don't worry, Raph is super strong but not unbeatable. I will have her 140 review up before she arrives in Global. Felis's job is to haste the whole team. He is just a OP support unit. Raegen now has his courage buff online. He is ready to fight. This is his LB, 3 hits large damage and lower slash resistance on the target. The AI always use this to break barriers. Then Jaden continues the ice chain, doing max damage and dispels Rafa's re-raise. HP recovery when health goes below 50%, this is such a nice passive, adding to his great survivability. Doing huge damage to Dark Fina with his defense penetration up 40 attack. This ice chaining team is very strong. I can't wait to get Jaden to 140 and test them out. The last sample match for today. It is against a win team with Edward, featuring the 3 new Ice Boys. First turn, Howlett cast HP Absorb on Raegen, and Jaden cast his shield. Turned off Raegen's group buff so he would haste and move forward. His role here is to go up, take damage and starts ice chains. Second turn, his courage buff and walk up. Edward's LB should not do too much to Raegen. Around 3.6k damage. I couldn't find a full strike team, this win team will have to do. Then Raegen's Dispel Jume's Protect and recover some HP from Howlett's buff. Raegen dispelled their protect again, and started another ice chain for Howlett to finish. They just chained so well together. Leave a like and subscribe if you find my review videos helpful. And share it with your guildmates and Discord. Much appreciated. That wraps up my 140 Raegen review and showcase. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.